All right, I've got to get in there. Out there. Like right behind those fish. Got him. That is awesome. Let's scope that one up. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited about this one, even more excited than I normally am for a day of fishing. And if you know me, you know that's saying something, because I'm absolutely addicted to bass fishing. I love it. I can't get enough of it. But the reason I'm so pumped about today's fishing trip is because I got a new toy on my boat, and that is the Humminbird Megalive2 forward-facing sonar transducer. I had Megalive1 for about the last year and a half. Transducer crapped out on me. I fished without it for the last month and a half, 2 months, and I've had a blast. No forward-facing sonar, just getting back to the basics, catching fish like I used to so many years ago, and I really enjoyed it. But I liked fishing with the forward-facing sonar, and I was already at a disadvantage because, let's just be honest, Megalive1 was not all that great. So I upgraded to the Megalive2, and you know, I've heard some great reviews. So today we're going to go out, try to catch some fish using more forward-facing sonar techniques, kind of teach you, walk you through what I like to do. I'm going to set up this Megalive transducer straight from the factory. I've never used it, first time out on the water with it. So we're going to go from the factory settings and just kind of, you know, I'm going to be honest, you're learning as I learn, because I've never used the Megalive2. I've got some more traditional forward-facing sonar baits. I'm going to do everything I can not to pull out, you know, the slow dragging baits for these offshore fish, and do everything in my inner being to resist running up the river and throwing a frog and punching, because that's my favorite thing to do this time of year on Lake Guntersville. But enough talking. I'm sure I'm boring you guys to death. Let's go catch some fish. All right, we're going to try to catch some chatterbait fish. Nice little current rolling through here. Nice little wind. We can take advantage of it this morning, try to catch some before we go full live scoper mode. Full live scoper mode. Is that a fish? Yep. As soon as it hit the bottom. Oh crap. It's a decent one. He wanted that chatterbait dead stick. There we go. That bass was hungry. I didn't even have to crank that chatterbait at all. He hit it as soon as it hit the water. Little green pumpkin chatter. Nice little 2-pounder. Nice little 2-pounder. Thank you. And I'm soaked. I am soaked now. Here I am, excited to use my Megalive. Come to a grass flat to throw a chatterbait. Like, that makes sense, boys. Look, I like live scoping, but I am by no means a live scoper. Do not classify me as a live scoper. Like, I know my way around technology. Like, I can set up a graph for you, show you some good settings, and I can catch some fish using it, but I am by no means a live scoper. I would much rather have my eyes out there than right there on the screen. But we're gonna do it today. I gotta catch a couple of these chatterbait fish to fuel my little chatterbait addiction that I have. Ooh, let's see what that is on the old scoper. Some big stuff moving out there out in front. Got him. Oh my gosh. Feels like a pretty good, there's a big group of them right there. It's one of my favorite ways to use the scope is, you know, panning around as I'm fishing to locate where the bait and where the fish are actually moving. Now, oh gosh, I got a hook in my hand. Ugh. I don't necessarily always sit there and just ping my bait over the top of them. Like, I use it more to fit my style of fishing. And you see, like, we're on a shallower flat, you can see all these fish moving up, like the bait moving, and you can see them bigger marks under it. And so, you know, I seen some stuff moving on the bottom, seen some bait above it, so I was like, okay. You know, I know I've been catching a bunch of bass here this year, so I was like, okay, chances are that's a bass. And you know, that's one of my favorite ways to use livescope. All right, guys, so after about an hour of fishing with Megalive, I'm really impressed. It's like 10 times better than Megalive 1. But guys, I know a lot of you have tuned in to look at some settings and look, you know, further into Megalive 2. I'm sure a lot of you are on the fence whether to go to Garmin, Lowrance, or go with the Humminbird Megalive 2. So here in a second, I promise you we will go through some color palettes, mess around with the settings. I still got everything on factory settings right now, so, but you know, it's helping me catch fish. And I can see my baits really good out to like 70 feet. And that's what I have my range set at right now. So I'll set up the camera on the tripod. I wish I could screen record, but I do not have a HDMI plug-in on my Solix unit. So I'll do my best, get my tripod set up and try to get the best image. That way you can see my bait and everything. But bear with me. I'm having some fun catching some fish. We're gonna catch some fish and then we'll dive into the settings. Those have got to be bass right there. That's a bass. Woo! Healthy. Healthy bass. Get up here. It's like every time I see them start moving on the Megalive. Look at that. Freaking had that chatterbait. Every time I see them start moving on the Megalive, I throw my chatterbait in there, and that's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. All right, guys, got the tripod set up. About the best I can do to get you to see what's on my screen. So, first thing I'm gonna start out with is this little old minnow. Little 3/16 tungsten head. Little bait. Like, this is not a big bait. I don't have any intensifier to make it look better. I put bait pop on like 2 hours ago, but it's definitely worn off. So we're gonna bomb this thing out there. Little light tackle. There it is at 50 feet going down. That's my bait. That little minnow is lighting up that much. Bait tracking is really good compared to Megalive 1. Like, that's my bait at 30 feet right there. The whole time I can see it, this little old bait. And you know, I've got my downrange set at 16, going 70 feet out, but that's it at 30 feet right there. I just pan the trolling motor away from it. But dude, bait tracking is really good. So let's go ahead and bump this this range up a little bit deeper so we can see more. So that's 25 feet. Let's see if we can see that bait as good. There it is, landed in about 45 feet. It's falling down. I'm gonna really bomb a cast. I'm gonna try to get it out there 70 feet, see if I can see it that good. That's such light tackle. I think 60. Seen it clear as day, falling down to that fish. Slow fall. Slow fall. Little light head, that fish is running away. But dude, like, you get the gist of it. The bait tracking is great. So that's a little 3/16 head. Let's do some baits that are easier to see. But I mean, just from that, I'm super impressed that I've got way higher chances of catching fish using my scope, like more suspended fish, using scope for them, than I ever have. Like, no interference when I hit the trolling motor. On Megalive 1, I would get so much interference. It's the same connections, like, and I have a great battery setup. So I was always like, what the heck is wrong? Like, see all those fish out there? Like, that's a crisp image. I need to come try to catch those. I'm trying to let y'all see my bait better in this clear water, or deeper water with less clutter, because we're on Gunnersville, got a bunch of grass. But let's see, where is my bait? I don't even know where I cast it. All right, let's see. Get my trolling motor on it. Where are you? I gotta move it to see it. There it is, 55 feet. There it is, yeah. I was panning the trolling motor trying to find it. But this is a jerk bait, a little Berkeley Stunner, 112. I mean, dude, I can see it all the way back to the boat. I'm speed reeling it, but, and the wind's blowing me around. I can't really stay on it super good, but I think y'all can tell, like, obviously it looks better in person than it does on the camera, but there it is, 50, let's see, where'd you go? 55. I mean, that's clear as day, guys. With Megalive2, I'd be lucky to see it right now. Like 30, 35 feet was the most. I'm getting 70 feet for sure. I haven't even tried to go further out with my out range. There it is, 50 feet. I mean, you're not seeing it hit the water because I gotta reel this jerkbait in to get it to dive. I mean, it is a sinking jerkbait, but it sinks kind of slow. But anyways, that's that guy, just a shallow sinking, like 4 to 6 foot jerkbait. I believe it's like 4 to 6 feet. All right, now the big honker, and then we're gonna swap, you know, mess around with the settings, change the color palette. I like this color palette a lot. My eyes just adjust pretty well to it. But there's another one, a newer palette called the Doppler, and it's like your 2D sonar. Look, there's my glide bait at 65 feet. It's a Doppler, so we're gonna try that one out, but like 50 feet. Like, that's really good. Let's see, let's bump it out. Oh, actually, I've got it set to 100 feet out. Let's go, or I had it to 80 feet. Let's go 100 feet. Really bomb that joker out there. I don't even think I can cast that thing 100 feet. There it is at 80. 80 all day, dude. That's it. 60. There's a bunch of fish. I know it's kind of blending in with the fish. I might catch one because there's some small fish, but I'll see some looks like bait right there at 60 feet. I don't see any bass on it, but yeah, dude, guys, I'm really impressed, and I'm just doing like a first look type video. I want to revisit, you know, I want to get some more experience out here on the water and revisit this and really go into depth on my settings. But like first look, I mean, I can see my bait up to 80 feet. I could probably see this thing up to 120 if I could cast it that far, but big old 7-inch glide bait. I mean, 80 feet all day, guys. There it is. Like, you can see it all the way to the boat. 40. I'm speed reeling it, but really impressive. And like, let's go through these settings. Like, Humminbird recommends 10 on sensitivity and 10 on contrast, and that's what it comes right out of the factory. Like, they got it set up perfect. And they changed on the transducer. They went from, I think it's 10-degree angles to 7. That way you can like really dial in, you know, have a better cone angle, I guess that's what you want to call it. But I can see my bait even if I'm not pointing my transducer directly at the bait. I can still see it. Like, it's got a lot of give. And on Megalive2, if you weren't looking directly at that bait, you had no chance of seeing it. And so dynamic contrast, I got it on low, and they recommend that's better for, you know, bait tracking and stuff. And then balanced is the best, you know, swapping from low to balance. You can see the change and all that clutter, but I like to run the transducer hot. That's what I call it. That's where you're going to pick up clutter. You're going to see more. So especially like with a smaller minnow, you'll see a lot. And then high is what they recommend to use when you're in shallow water if you're picking up a lot of clutter. It's what I should have had it on when I was catching them on the chatterbait, but you know, I didn't even mess with it at all. So low is what I'm going to leave it on. That way I can see my bait better. So let's go. I've got that on Alabama Amber. There's a bunch of different ones. Doppler is the one I want to look at. I mean, dang, that just lights up really good. Let's go back out here a little bit deeper. Might have to adjust my sensitivity or my dynamic contrast for this one. Let's put it on balance. That way I can see a little bit better. So I like this, especially for bait. So we're gonna pick up this small minnow again. I like this especially for bait, locating bait. Now I don't think I would like this as much for, you know, trying to ping those individual bass, but picking up big signatures of bait looks really good for it. So that's me at 50 foot. I don't like that balance. Let's turn it on low. That way I can see my bait a little bit better. Reel that joker in. I'm gonna try to hit that bait ball at like 50. It's 50 foot right there falling down. Reel it up, drop it. All right, I've actually got a smaller fish behind it. So now I'm in the bait ball. That's me at 30 feet. Reel it in. I like this. I don't know, my eyes just don't care as much for it. That's me at 60 feet with the little 3/16 minnow. I don't know. Not as impressed with that one, but yeah, that's the gist of it. Super easy to set up right out of the box. I'll put that thing back on Alabama Amber. Let's just look at these real quick. Like blue crawl. That's what I run my side scan on. I think I could do that on Megalive. Green pumpkin, smoke, watermelon red. That's sort of like the Doppler. Citrus shad. I like that. Sunrise, I like that too. You know, it all depends on your eyes and how cloudy it is. You know, if it's cloudy or sunny, all these different palettes are going to look better with different weather conditions, water conditions, if it's muddy, dirty, if it's clean, dirty. But I like the Alabama Amber so far, and Guntersville Lake's pretty clear. I really like, I want to get out on one of those herring lakes and really do the ultimate test. But yeah, I'm really impressed with that. I'm gonna try to catch some more fish on it, or go back up on this flat and just catch some of those chatterbait fish, because that was fun, guys. All right, I've got to get in there. Right there. Landed right behind those fish. Got him. That is awesome. Let's scope that one up. Oh man. Scoped him with the chatterbait. Scoped him with the chatterbait. So guys, I was sitting there panning around, moving down this flat. And you know, when you're in shallow water, a lot of times when you get this big group of bass, you know, more than 3 or 4, you know, 5, 6, whatever, they look like big blobs a lot of times, especially when there's, you know, we're in Guntersville, there's a bunch of grass. So a lot of times if they're on the bottom, they're gonna blend in with that grass until you kind of get them to expose. And I seen them moving because I was sitting still and I seen the bottom moving. Oh my gosh, that was a monster that just blew up. But I seen the bottom moving as a big wad. And they were just so tight on this ball of bait on this grass edge. And so I threw it in there, landed it about 10 feet behind him, let it hit the bottom, started slow rolling it on the bottom, and boom, dude, he attacked. Those are the fish that you're looking for. You want those active fish, the fish that are moving, feeding, actively feeding. They're gonna be the easiest to catch. Gosh, that's a good one, I think. Pretty solid. He swiped. Oh gosh. He hit it, missed it, and then came back and swiped it. That's a good one. Solid one, guys. Let's go! The freaking chatterbait bite is on, my dudes. Good. Oh, dude, I missed him. Oh, there he is. Oh, gosh. Dude, that was crazy. Oh, I love a jerkbait bite. Get these fish fired up like that. They'll do anything to get that bite. All right, guys, so overall, I'm really impressed with the Humminbird, and this is honest review. The first time I've ever used it, first time I've ever seen it. I've never even been in a boat that had the Megalive2. So right out of the box, guys, this thing's ready to go. Humminbird actually has some recommendations on their website about, you know, doing dynamic contrast, sensitivity, and contrast. And they recommend leave contrast and sensitivity at a 10. Like starting out, you can dial it back. But what I saw today on the Tennessee River, fishing around vegetation, clear water, 10 sensitivity, 10 contrast was great. Dynamic contrast, I went, so balanced, if I remember right, balanced is gonna be, you know, the most balanced, obviously. And low is what you're gonna want for better bait tracking if you're fishing deeper water, and high is gonna be what you want if you're fishing shallow and you're picking up a whole bunch of clutter, and you're not necessarily worried about seeing your bait as well. So I'm not gonna use high. I like seeing my bait. There might be some occasion where I use it, but definitely gonna use low a lot and balance some. But guys, my bait easily got out on factory settings to 80 feet. Like I could see my bait very clear at 80 feet, and this is just a very small, this is a 3 3/4 inch bait, and I could see that guy well out to 80 feet. I think I even saw it at 90. I definitely saw the glide bait at 90. I'm sure I could see the glide bait at over 100 feet. But like I said, I'm gonna do, after a little bit of experience, more experience with it, I'm gonna do a detailed settings video on it. But right now I just wanted to do, you know, right out of the box, first trip. I have no affiliation with Humminbird, so, you know, honest review, and I really like it. Megalive1, it honestly sucked. I didn't know how bad it was because it's the only thing I had, and then getting in the boat with Justin Lucas, having active target 2, being able to see his bait out to 120 feet, Austin Neary's Garmin livescope just showed me how bad Megalive1 was. So to be able to see this little tiny minnow as good as I could today, and as far as I could, I'm really impressed. And I think Humminbird has really done a good job. I would even, just after one trip, I would say it's up there. You know, it's really close to livescope and active target. And I really thought it was going to be a thing where, like, I would only recommend it to people that already run Humminbird, because that's how I did with Megalive1. Because I was like, dude, if you don't have a Humminbird and you're trying to get forward-facing sonar, don't buy a Megalive1. Like, go buy a Garmin or go buy a Lowrance, because it was a lot better. But with Megalive2, honestly, dude, I would recommend it to somebody that didn't already have Humminbird. You know, it's really simple. You don't have a black box like livescope does. I think active target might have a box too, but no black box. So just transducer and power cable. You know, easy, simple, easy to set up. That's what I've always loved about Humminbird, is it's so user-friendly, and they really did it. Megalive1 wasn't really user-friendly. You had to have it perfect settings to get, you know, a decent image, but this thing straight out of the box, I was like, dang, dude, I don't even need to do anything. But yeah, guys, I like it. I really do. I'm looking forward to fishing with it more and getting out on Smith Lake, because that's the ultimate test, catching a whole bunch of suspended spotted bass. That'll put this thing to the ultimate test, and we'll get more feedback on that in a detailed settings video. But guys, I had fun catching them on a chatterbait, caught a couple on jerkbait, and yeah, good day for August fishing. You know, breaking down this Megalive, catching some fish on chatterbait, jerkbait. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, like this video, drop a comment down below if you got any questions or concerns, or you know, anything. Let me know, and we will see you in the next one.
Got it.